Hey, this is Fish on a Heater with another breakdown of a meta-relevant Pokemon for Prismatic Cup. So in this video, we're going to take a look at some of Drifblim's matchups against the other meta-relevant Pokemon. We're going to see what you can pair with Drifblim to kind of create a solid core in your battles. And we are also going to take a look at some battles that kind of put all that information together. If you like what you see here, there are other videos that you can check out on some other meta-relevant Pokemon, such as that one. And if you do like these videos, then just a really quick and easy thing you can do to help out is just click the like button. Just a simple single action like that helps the video get discovered a little more, and that enables me to keep on doing this and help bringing the world more PvP information. We want to educate the world on Silph Arena PvP. Anyway, let's take a look at the wide open meta. So this is Drifblim versus a lot of those top meta Pokemon. We see a lot of X's there, so X's are the ones that Drifblim wins. That is good. Let's check them out more individually. So in the 1 shield, we are winning that. However, in the 2 shield and the 0 shield, Whimsicott's winning. So let's see what's happening there. Looks like Whimsicott is surviving an Icy Wind with about a third HP left, and then all it takes is a Grass Knot, which is doing 55 damage. Now that is a resisted move, and yet it's still doing 55 damage. Those charms catch up to you by the look of it. So 16 damage per charm, and the Whimsicott, once it gets to the Grass Knot, can KO the Drifblim. So you actually need 2 Icy Winds to take out the Whimsicott. You can see there 47.8%, so just under 50% damage for 1 Icy Wind. Obviously, Icy Wind is the one you want to go with. It is 1.24 DPE versus 1.27. Okay, so Shadow Ball is very narrowly more energy efficient, but then the Icy Wind gives you the attack drop as well. So yeah, that is 16 damage per charm after the debuff. Beforehand, it's doing 20 damage. So that said, moral of the story there, you need 2 Icy Winds to take out the Whimsicott. That's the same deal in the 2 shield there. Yeah, sure, you're able to shield that first Grass Knot, but then those charms are just going to catch up. Even though they're doing even less damage there, it's just not doing enough work. So that's kind of important if you're facing a Drifblim as well. Even if you don't use a Drifblim, facing a Drifblim with your Whimsicott, Whims will actually win the 0 shield and the 2 shield, providing no energy lead or something. So if Drifblim already has some energy to get to that first Icy Wind sooner, then that probably will make I won't say probably, it definitely will make a difference. But let's move on. Flygon. Obviously, that Icy Wind is double strong against the Flygon, but again, no, never mind. I was going to say one Icy Wind isn't doing enough, but it is. So an Icy Wind will do 88% damage, and hexes are actually enough to finish that off there. It does have to worry about the Stone Edge, which is going to do 140 damage. So Stone Edge is doing 82% damage. That is before debuffs as well. So 175, once it is debuffed, it's doing 140, which is a reasonable difference. The advantage with Flygon is that it's only doing that mud shot damage in between the charge moves. So it's very, very hard to get farmed down by a Flygon. But after you get hit by Stone Edge, I reckon that a Dragon Claw will be enough. Let's see. Let's check out the 0 shield here. Well, yeah, I mean, the Icy Wind's going to take it out before it can do that. So let's try going to the 1 shield again. We'll go to Sandbox mode, and let's change this to Stone Edge, Unshielded. And then let's make this Dragon Claw. Okay, so there you go. Once you're hit by a Stone Edge, even though this one is nerfed by the Icy Wind, a Dragon Claw will be enough to take you out there. Fair enough? Fair enough. Alright, let's move on. Number 3, Chestnut. Chestnut, I'm amazed it's gotten so high in the rankings. This is how it goes. You should be doing well. Although the computer's taking a bit of time to work that out. You should be doing well because you triple resist the superpower and you single resist the energy ball. So obviously here the Chestnut is going straight for the energy ball. Here in the one shield we're going for the Icy Wind, then the Shadow Ball. So the Icy Wind 1.31 DPE, Shadow Ball 1.34 DPE. Interesting that this is still going for the Shadow Ball. And that the Shadow Ball doesn't actually quite KO either. Whoa, look at that. Okay, so Drifblim is fine in this matchup. There is no win condition for Chestnut. Let's see if we give it like... Let's give it an energy ball, an entire energy ball, and see if that makes a difference. So that is enough to flip the 2-0 shield. So you are, if you get your Drifblim locked in against a Chestnut, you are loving life. Snorlax. Now this is a win for the opponent. And what's happening here? Just we're just going straight body slams. I guess that. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, if the second move is superpower, then you're absolutely going to want to throw the body slams, because not only is superpower triple resisted as opposed to the double resistance of body slam, but it's also lowering your own attack and defense. So you definitely just want to throw the body slams there. But that lick damage is doing actually more work than the body slams are. So obviously you're just throwing the Icy Winds. Snorlax really does have the upper hand, but these two are very, very close. So I wonder what happens if we give... okay, so we're in this one shield situation, we are winning, and the Snorlax, we're losing by 6 HP. So I guess that goes to show that if Snorlax has already lost 6 HP, or just a small percentage of its HP in the previous matchup, then Drifblim can probably come in and flip the one shield. So let's just start it with like 180 HP. And suddenly we win that one by the slimmest of margins. That's a 1 HP win. Obviously results may vary depending on IVs. But now suddenly, look at this. We've won the 1-0, the 1-1, the 2-1, and the 2-0. And the 0-0 is very close as well. If we start with 170 energy there, HP there. I mean, that's not much. Like, that's 2 counters from a fighting Pokemon. Suddenly we win the 0 shield as well. So a little bit of damage done to Snorlax beforehand will potentially be enough to flip the Drifblim matchup. Or let's take a look at the energy lead situation. So if we just backspace that, and we give Drifblim 3 hexes. Let's see what that does. Drifblim is winning... Yeah, looks like Drifblim's winning the 0, the 1, the 2, and like all the shield advantage situations. It's barely losing the shield disadvantage situation. So Drifblim can fight back. Snorlax is not that great a counter to Drifblim. Just you need to either get rid of some of Snorlax's health first, or you need an energy lead on your Drifblim. Lantern's a bit of a tough one. Lantern is a strong counter to Drifblim. You can see in the potential threats here, Lantern's listed at number 1. So a Thunderbolt is doing 72% damage. Sparks are doing a fair amount, 7 damage per spark. We are winning the 2-0 and the 2-1. And are we Icy Winding there? I assume we're Icy Winding. Now, this is one where Shadow Ball is definitely the better move. 0.62 DPE versus 1.6 DPE. Is there a situation where you can win that one shield? And we're going to turn off baits, because I feel like in a matchup like this, you've just got to go for it. Just got to go for that Shadow Ball. So it's winning by 13 turns, so we need a lot of energy, I feel. I mean, that's closer. In the one shield, we've given it 4 hexes. Oh, there we go, 5 hexes. So 5 hexes is 60. That's just enough for a Shadow Ball. If it's got a Shadow Ball prepared, then it can win the one shield. And that's going straight Shadow Ball. If you land baits as well, ooh, it's comfortable for us then. That's because we don't get hit by a Thunderbolt. If we do get hit by a Thunderbolt, what is that? The 0-1 shield. If we do get hit by a Thunderbolt, we are still alive, but just barely. So that is with the 5 hex lead. That is with the energy lead there. So that's, I guess that's what you need to do to beat the Lantern. A Shadow Ball is doing 45% damage. So that's probably the important number you need to remember, because in the heat of a battle, kind of there's a whole bunch of different setups that can be, like, Lantern can have 192 HP, Lantern can have 185 HP, and you're not going to be able to tell, like, oh, well, it's got 183 HP, so I should be able to win this matchup. The main thing you want to remember is, hey, if I bring my Drifblim in here, a Shadow Ball will do 45% damage, and that will kind of help you gauge how much, or how likely your Drifblim is to win that situation. Thunderbolt, in return, doing 72% damage. Next, we have Hitmontop, and you're laughing with this one. Just watch out for that Stone Edge, which does 80% damage. But it takes a while to get to the Stone Edge. It takes, what is that? So it's 55 energy, 7 counter per. So 8. It takes 8 counters to get to a Stone Edge. So yeah, as long as you don't get hit by that, you're fine. Even if you do get hit by it. So if Drifblim's got 0 shields, the Hitmontop still needs 2 shields to win that one. So you're fine against the Hitmontop. Hypno, now that's going to be an important matchup for Drifblim. Looks like Drifblim does win all even shields and the shield advantage, loses the shield disadvantage. Now this is a Hypno running Thunder Punch, which I think will be the most commonly used punch on Hypno. This would include baits. Let's see what happens if we don't bait. We're still okay, we're just losing the 2 shield there. So what's happening in the 2 shield? Yeah, it's just straight Thunder Punches from Hypno, which are doing 37% damage, which isn't much, but those confusions kind of add up over time. So if you are in the 2 shield situation, you've got to bait. If you're in the 1 or the 0 shield, you can go straight Shadow Ball. That will probably be important if you encounter a switch, like a safe switch, counter switch kind of situation. If you win the lead, they switch to Hypno, and you switch to Drifblim, you're going to have to land a bait to win that matchup. We can skip Meganium, that's kind of an obvious one. Quagsire, yeah, let's go Quagsire. So Quagsire is winning the 1 shield. Drifblim needs 2 shields to guarantee. a Stone Edge from Quag is doing 71% damage, so it needs to land 2 Stone Edges. That's the important part. It needs to land 2 Stone Edges, and remember that the first Stone Edge is doing 71, probably 72% damage, because chances are your Drifblim's going to have lost some health already when the Quag's Eye comes in. Icy Wind doing 26% damage, Shadow Ball doing 52. So just like it'll take 2 Stone Edges to KO, it'll take 2 Shadow Balls to KO. You're getting to the Shadow Ball in 15 turns. Quag is getting to Stone Edge in 16. So yes, it's a higher number, but that also means you're throwing the Shadow Ball halfway through that last mud shot that it needs. So you're essentially getting to that charge move at the same time. And Drifblim does win CMP. So that's something to keep in mind. What else we got? Snowy Castform, yeah, that's probably an obvious one in Snowy Castform's favor. Gliscor. Because, yes, we've got the Icy Wind that the Gliscor's double weak to, but they've got the Night Slash that they can hit back with. We win the 1 shield. Looks like we win all shield situations, but what about if, because Gliscor is a fantastic safe switch option. If we give that a 2 wing attack energy lead, what happens? We're still fine. What about 4? Really? Those numbers don't seem to have changed at all. So the Icy Winds seem to be doing alright. So the Night Slash is doing 37% damage. The Icy Wind is doing 71% damage, and it is the higher DPE move, obviously because of that double weakness on Gliscor's part. Yeah, so I guess you don't have to worry about that. Let's see, the wing attacks are only doing 6 damage per attack. Yeah, I thought that was a much more difficult Pokemon to get around, but I guess not. Alolan Mark, obvious one for Mark. You know, you get hit by Dark Pulse, you're done, and you can only fire Icy Winds back in return. Zangoose, definitely one that Zangoose is going to win with that Shadow Claw, Night Slash, and double resisting the Ghost moves. Rainy Castform is an interesting one, but I don't know how many you'll see of those. Shiftry. Let's look at Shiftry. And actually, I might go up to Ferrothorn as well. So, Shiftry, a Foul Play from Shiftry is doing 72% damage, and each Snarl is doing 11 damage. So that's a lot. In this situation, the Shiftry is baiting with the Leaf Blade. Let's see what happens if it doesn't bait. Well, first, actually, we'll look at the shield situation. So, looks like Shiftry's got kind of this stumpy L shape of wins, and then Drifblim is winning these scenarios here. And then what happens if Shiftry does not bait? Wow, look at that. Does Shiftry actually win more scenarios by not baiting? Yeah, because it flips this 2-2. That's fascinating. Let me try that again. Yeah, where Shiftry loses the 2-2 with baiting. With the double debuff, a Foul Play is still doing 103 damage, which is like 50% essentially. And we are hitting him with the third Icy Wind. And then what happens when we don't bait, when they don't bait? So we're not getting to the third Icy Wind? That's so weird. That's so weird. So it's taking you 4 Snarls to get to the first Foul Play, then you throw Leaf Blade. And then 1, 2, 3, you're up to another Foul Play, you throw Leaf Blade. 1, 2, 3, you're up to another Foul Play, and you throw the Foul Play. And then 1 more Snarl, and then you're dead. As opposed to 1, 2, 3, 4, bang. 1, 2. Oh, does it only take 3 to get to the second Foul Play as well? That's interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you can tell what's going on there, let me know, because I don't know why that is happening. And finally, because we've gone on about this for 20 minutes by my account, let's just look at Ferrothorn as one more Pokemon. So Ferrothorn could just as easily be running Flash Cannon in this cup. In fact, I think it's probably more likely that it's going to be running Flash Cannon. But let's take a look at it with Thunder, because the Thunder is going to do 70 damage. Flash Cannon would do 57 damage. So Thunder is definitely the more dangerous move. So you can assume that if you can beat the Ferrothorn when it's running Thunder, you can also beat it when it's running Flash Cannon. We're winning the one shield by debuffing once and then going straight Shadow Ball after that. The Icy Wind is neutral. No, the Icy Wind's neutral. That's interesting that it's only doing 0.66 DPE as opposed to the 1.09 DPE of the Shadow Ball. But again, like the Lantern, you're doing about half damage with the Shadow Ball, and you're only doing a quarter damage with the Icy Wind. Thunder will do 70% damage, which we established. Debuffed once, it is doing 119 damage as opposed to 148 up here. Do we need to debuff once, or are we fine without it? So when we get hit by the Thunder, we're down to 60 HP. Just for argument's sake, the original Thunder's doing 148, this one's doing 119, so that's an extra 29. So you could say that we'd have, if that Thunder wasn't debuffed, we would have like 31 HP left. So we're still surviving. The answer to that is even if we don't debuff them, we're still surviving. Now let's not throw the bait. And yeah, that confirms it. We are throwing the Icy Wind at the end there. But it is a lot closer. We've only got 11 HP left. So, again, don't necessarily need to bait with that one. However, let's give Ferrothorn 2 Bullet Seeds. And Ferrothorn does win that one. So in that case, you do need to bait. No, Ferrothorn still wins it because you get hit by 2 Thunders. Okay. That first one not taking you out. The second one definitely taking you out. Okay, so if Ferrothorn has the energy lead, then you're in trouble. The Drifblim will not be a counter at that point. So you'll need a shield advantage. You'll need to spend more shields than they do to survive that one. That is without. Oh, that is with baiting as well. That's with successful baiting. Without. Yeah, same deal. So keep that in mind. Now, what do you put your Drifblim with? So looking at the threats. Lantern, Alolan Muck, Honchkrow, Electivire, Magnezone, Zapdos, Snorlax, you can read. I see mainly Electrics, Darks, And in the middle here, we've got a group of normal types with Shadow Claw. Then we've got one ice type user here, and I know that Dugong will be another one. And then we've got Rainy Cast Form as well, just to throw a spanner in the works. So that everything else is falling into those categories. We got Ghost, Dark, Electric, and Ice, which, of course, like if you know your typing, you know that's what you look. Well, I mean, interesting that Rock isn't in here at all, but pairing your Drifblim with a Grass Pokemon is gonna be a decent move, but you do leave yourself open to Ice at that stage, because obviously the Ice is going to be, loving the combination of Grass and Flyer there. You could also pair it with a Fighter, I guess, to take out those. I mean, there's not too many Darks there. Like the only Darks I can see in this list at the moment are neutral to fighting, so you wouldn't bother with that. Tell you what, let's see what we've paired it with in the videos, because I actually don't remember off the top of my head. Let's go. Number one, we have got a Grass, and we've got the Quagsire. So I guess the Quagsire would be there to protect the other two against the Ices if they happen to have one. Otherwise, yeah, Whimsicott is doing a decent job against a lot of those Pokemon. Magnezone is a bit of an issue, but again, Quagsire does beat that very comfortably. It's basically anything that beats both Drifblim and Whimsicott here, Snorlax covers. So let's check out the battle. Okay, so in this situation, we have led with Whimsicott and used Drifblim as a safe swap. Now, well, what did we say here? Let's use our memories. I think we said that Whimsicott will win the 2 shield, and that a Grass Knot will be enough to take it out in the 1 shield. Let's see if we got that right. So here comes the first one. Are we going to shield this Icy Wind? We are not, and so that takes out a decent amount, and now we bring out our own Drifblim. So that's something we didn't look at. Drifblim versus Drifblim. So an Icy Wind is doing 45% damage to an opposing Drifblim. Shadow Ball doing 91% damage, and those hexes will do a lot as well. 12 damage to an opposing Drifblim. So, in this situation here where I have burned a lot of the Drifblim's HP and then switched in my own Drifblim, what that's done is, and it's fired an Icy Wind as well. So I believe it should be close to Energy Dry. Let me double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then going for the Icy Wind. So 4 hexes puts it at 48 energy. Icy Wind is 45, so it should have 3 energy left. And I've now put it in a position where just an Icy Wind will take out that. Just an Icy Wind will, plus the hexes in between, will probably take out that opposing Drifblim. And so they didn't get another hex in, which probably tells me that they're looking to go Icy Wind. I don't use the shield. You crazy, man. See, now that's put me behind in HP. Oh no, maybe it hasn't. They tried to catch the move. I don't know why I didn't throw there, but it meant we were able to Shadow Ball that Gallade, and now the Whimsicott comes back in. It Very nearly takes out the Gallade. Now, okay, so what situation are we in now? We've got the Drifblim, which has enough energy for an Icy Wind. And it's got like a third of its HP left. And this Gallade doesn't have much HP left. We can try and... we can try and farm that Gallade down with Hexes. It might work, but I think a Confusion will do the work on us beforehand. Quagsire is probably a safer option. We can try and farm down with the Quagsire and get a bunch of energy on that. With no shields left on their side, having an Earthquake will be devastating against any Pokemon but Drifblim, I guess. We try and go for the Hex. We do get there. Okay. Now, we shielded that. I don't think that was the right move. Especially because they're going to get to that charge move against the Quagsire now, because I'm not going to be able to farm them down. It's, you know, Mudshot's double resisted and doesn't do much damage in the first place. So I still have to hit him with a Stone Edge. I should have just let the Drifblim go down. Better yet, I should have brought the Drifblim in against the Gallade in the first place. So I've taken a really solid situation and I've ruined it. And I also lagged then, not allowing me to get the excellent. And yeah, okay. So in my defense though, I wouldn't have been able to get to an Icy Wind if I had managed to match up the Drifblim against the Whimsicott. I would not have been able to survive long enough to get to another Icy Wind, so that would have gone down anyway. Let's take a look at team number 2. So we've gone the Grass again, and this time we've gone Ninetales. So Ninetales would protect against things like... Ninetales would protect against things like a Magnezone. And I guess a lot of these it would just have neutral matchups against. Let's see... if we put in Lantern... Oh, sorry, not Lantern. If we put in Ninetales. Just Drifblim and Ninetales. Still an F on coverage, so that's not promising. And we do get a lot of Pokemon that beat both of those. The two big ones that come across are Lantern and Quagsire. So that's why you've got the Meganium there as your third one. Castform, Rainy, Gyarados. So yeah, basically anything... a lot of water Pokemon. Then you got Munchlax. Then you got the electric Pokemon in Alolan and Golem. That's a very unique one that I don't think we'll see very often. I think Meganium beats Dugong. Probopass, Talonflame. Okay, Talonflame is... with this trio, Talonflame is going to be a problem. And that's a very relevant problem, because Talonflame is going to be so popular. But basically, if you're running Ninetales and Drifblim, your biggest problems are waters, and that enables Meganium to come in and fix everything up and plug those holes. So let's see how that battle goes. Okay, not a good start, so we're getting straight out of there, and we bring in the Ninetales instead of our own Drifblim, just because, you know, it'll cost a turn to switch anyway, so they're just, you know, one turn ahead of us in a mirror match like that. There's really not too much, like, you're probably going to go straight Icy Wind there on both sides, so there's really not much you can do. Ninetales versus Drifblim. Let's go back up here. Looks like Ninetales has the upper hand there. Those Icy Winds obviously resisted, so they're only doing 16% damage. Shadow Ball does 53%. So they've got to hit you, well, if you're against the Ninetales, you've got to hit them with 2 Shadow Balls. That seems to be the case for a lot of Pokemon. 2 Shadow Balls is the magic number. And the Weather Balls, they are doing 32% damage, so about a third. And the Fire Spins in between are enough to KO. So you do only need 2 Weather Balls. but you do need a lot more fire spins in between that to make that official. There's your situations. Drifblim is winning all the 2 shields there, and then it's also winning the 1-0. Obviously, Ninetales is not baiting. Drifblim probably has to. So let's try without baiting, see how that works. Yeah, that's even worse. So in the 2-2 shields, you have to land 2 baits. Looks like you get away with it in the 2-1 and the 1-0. 2-0, you're absolutely fine. But then, yeah, all the even situations, Ninetales has got that one. So Ninetales, reasonable counter for Drifblim. So Icy Wind's just fine here. And now they switch out. So we've got Hypno. I was still running Overheat from my Vortex Cup. So Solar Beam's probably the better move that you want. But Overheat, you can see, even with the attack debuff, doing a wonderful job there. I'm fine to get hit by an Ice Punch here because I know Drifblim's coming back out. No, Superior. That's something I did not see coming. Looks like this is during the 30-second switch timer as well. So my time is up. But I let that go because the opposing Drifblim is just too powerful anyway. Here comes the Weather Ball. I don't expect them to shield, or they probably could shield and then switch out now. Yeah, which they do. And there's Hypno. We're probably going to use a shield here. Yeah, we want to pressure this Hypno. We still haven't seen my Drifblim yet. Well, we did right at the beginning. Now we are in trouble because we're on equal shields. And they've got a big energy lead. That was the correct move, not shielding that, because my only hope of winning was not shielding an Icy Wind. Shielding a Shadow Ball would have been good too. But yeah, if I let through a Shadow Ball, or if I had shielded an Icy Wind, both would have just accelerated my death. I mean, we're fine with this because we needed to KO this thing anyway. Taking it to slightly lower HP enables us to try and get a farm down, but it's not looking likely. And it doesn't work. We do shield that, and then yeah, that other Drifblim comes through. So 0 for 2. For the third team, I went a slightly different tack. I went Alolan Raichu and Snorlax. So that Snorlax, if we go back to just Drifblim on its own, so we see the some of those wins there. Snorlax is gonna like. So Alolan Muck, Lanoon, not so much Zangoose. Zangoose will have the upper hand here. Alolan Raichu, Snorlax likes going in against Frostlass. So Snorlax has some key wins there, and Alolan Raichu, that from what I could tell, they just seemed to team up pretty well. Let's pop those 3 in together. Actually, I think I'll probably just go into the alternatives and they'll be there. So Alolan Raichu, look at that. It has win conditions against all those things. And then if we go down, and Snorlax is bam number 1 on the potential alternatives list. And what are we getting for coverage now? B, and then C, B, B. So that's pretty good grading for a team of 3. Threat score of 660, and the only Pokemon that are beating all 3 of those are Ampharos, Zebstrika, Raichu, and Snorlax. Out of those 4, Snorlax is probably the only one you're any likely to see. So it's a weird one. I don't really know how to explain it any better than this, but it just seems to go together. Let's see if, in fact, I do get the win with this team. Alright, so bad start for me. And I've got the Alolan Raichu, which doesn't like the Gengar as well. We do catch a Shadow Punch. So now the Gengar's dry. And we've got Chestnuts. This is not looking good for us at all. So the Gengar beats 2 of our Pokemon. The Chestnut beats 2 of our Pokemon. We do manage to catch the superpower against the Drifblim. So far we're doing really well, just based purely on the back of catching moves. An Icy Wind. How much is that going to do to a Gengar? Let's quickly pause and find out. Icy Wind is going to do 50%. So just like the Shadow Balls and all those other 2 Pokemon, you're going to need 2 Icy Winds to take him out. Hex is going to do 10 damage. Well, okay. So Hex is doing 10% damage to a Gengar. So that's a big deal. So you probably don't actually need 2 Icy Winds to farm down to take out a Gengar. You can probably single Icy Wind and farm down from there. The Gengar, on the other hand, Shadow Punch is doing almost 50%. The Shadow Claws are doing 13 damage, which is not quite as bad as a percentage. Shadow Ball, if that gets through, is going to one-hit KO a Drifblim. So you want to be careful of that. Obviously, all the Gengars are going to try and... Well, I mean, I was going to say all the Gengars are going to build up to the Shadow Ball and then try and bait you, but what might happen is that your opponent might know how much damage a Shadow Claw is, a Shadow Punch is going to do, and just go straight Shadow Punch. If that's the case, then that's probably the situation you'd prefer. You can take a Shadow Punch. You obviously can't take a Shadow Ball, so that might be an option. If you are at a shield disadvantage, you might be able to spare 1 shield by getting hit by a Shadow Punch. That is purely if they don't bother building up to the Shadow Ball. If they just go straight Punch, then you can afford to let 1 go. Obviously, a Shadow Punch will take us out from here. But now we are in a situation where we can control the rest of the matchup. Well, not quite, because they've still got 3 Pokemon. If they had 2 Pokemon left, then we'd be in full control. But we do get to match this Snorlax up against the Pokemon it wants to go in against. So again, this will be another superpower. And now we've still got 2 shields left, so we can farm down from here. We're gonna shield once, and then we're gonna farm down. I think we're gonna farm down, especially since they're debuffing themselves. And now we're in a lot better position. We just, I believe we just fired there without knowing what was coming in. And now, since they've got a shield, we want to pressure that shield. And now Snorlax will come in to finish the job. We've still got a shield left, so we can survive an avalanche. And then we can lick down from there. Even if they get to an avalanche before we can lick them down, Raichu's there, but we can. So that was one, despite some bad matchups, based off the power of catching charge moves and burning their energy. Drifblim, what was the role Drifblim played there? So it was going to be a fantastic counter to the Chestnut, and I don't think we actually looked at Frostlass. What? We never matched the Drifblim in against the Frostlass? Whoops. So how would that have worked out if we had? This is with baiting. Frostlass does have it. The Powder Snow is doing 10 damage. Hex is doing 8. Frostlass is winning all even shields. And that's with baiting as well. And if we don't bait, same deal. So you need a shield advantage to beat Frostlass. But it looks like you can just go straight Shadow Ball in those situations. Shadow Ball doing 96% damage there. 93 and 83% for either of those. You probably don't care. You're probably going to go for Avalanche if you're the Frostlass, just because the Powder Snows are going to be doing enough to complete that job, and Avalanche is quicker. So that is it for this video. I hope it was informative. If you've got any ideas for what else you want me to take a look at, let me know in the comments, and whatever we get kind of the most requests for, we can do in a future video. In the meantime, I will see you in the next video.